Tip number 6, pick your crops. Why go to all this trouble, then run down to the local feed and seed store and pick up whatever's on the shelf? A simple internet search can put you in touch with companies that sell organic seeds and seedlings. Look for the USDA Organic logo. Organic transplants sold in your local gardening center will have tags or labels showing they've been grown under organic conditions. Contact your local cooperative extension agents for tips on which plants grow best in your particular area. The top 10 veggies include tomatoes, zucchini, squash, peppers, cabbage, bush beans, lettuce, beets, carrots, chard, and radishes. Which part of the plant will you eat? It varies by plant. You'll be eating roots of plants such as carrots, beets, turnips, and radishes, and stems of asparagus and rhubarb. You eat the leaves of lettuce, kale, cabbage, chard, spinach, and most herbs, and the seeds of green beans and peas. Onions and garlic are the bulbs of those plants, while tomatoes, eggplant, zucchini, and pumpkins are fruit because they contain seeds. One additional tip is to plant marigolds with your veggies. They repel insects. Choose veggies you and your family will eat, unless you're planning to sell the unwanted plants at a farmer's market. Think of herbs as well. Homegrown herbs are far superior to what you'll find in the supermarket. Also, remember summer vacation. If you're going to be gone, find someone who can look after your garden and harvest those tomatoes and zucchini for you. Most vegetables are annuals. This means you need to plant them every year. However, asparagus, rhubarb, and certain herbs are perennials, coming back year after year. Be sure to give them their own space in your garden and not forget and plow them under. Also, consider that some crops, like radishes and bush beans, mature quickly and have a short harvest season. Others, like tomatoes, have a longer period of time. Check the seed packet or seedling planting directions for specifics with your plants. This can allow you to replant once the growing season is over for one plant and get another harvest from a different one. Some veggies may even produce more than one crop in a season, such as beans, beets, carrots, cabbage, kohlrabi, lettuces, radishes, rutabagas, spinach, and turnips. In addition, if you stagger your planting, don't plant all your lettuce at once, for example, but put out a few at a time. You'll get a longer harvest period. If you're going with seeds, follow directions on the packets to space them out. Good airflow between the plants can help prevent many types of fungal diseases. You'll also need to find out how often to water and how much water each plant type likes. Root veggies like carrots don't transplant well, so they should always be started with seeds. If you're choosing seedlings, Extension Service experts recommend picking plants with healthy color and no yellowing leaves. Stay away from wilted plants or droopy leaves. Gently tap the plant out of the pot to check the roots. They should be white and well developed. Avoid plants that have already budded or are flowering. You want your new plants to spend their energy creating a solid root system first. If you must pick a flowering seedling, pinch off the buds and flowers to force the plant to refocus on its roots. Tip number 7, clean your garden. You should plan on weeding your garden almost daily. Pulling weeds is much easier after a rain or watering. If the soil is really muddy, wait until it dries a bit. You can pinch the stem and gently pull the weed out by its roots, or use a trowel to pry the roots out of the soil. If you're careful not to damage your vegetables, you can use a hoe, but try to get the roots as well as the tops of the weeds. Otherwise, they'll just grow back. At least once a week, walk through your garden picking up any shed foliage. Many diseases spread from dead leaves and stems, and you can often prevent this by snipping off any suspicious-looking leaves or flowers. Throw these leaves into your garbage, not the compost heap, because they could infect your other plants as well. Garden pests can still affect an organic garden, though they're less likely to if you follow our tips. If you see insect pests, the best way to get rid of them is simply to pick them off. Wear gloves if you need to. Aphids, for example, are easily picked or washed off. They usually attack plants under stress, which can be caused by a lack of water. Chemical-free barriers work well also. Something as easy as copper barrier tape can repel slugs and snails, and fabric-like row covers protect your plants from birds overhead. A cardboard collar can protect seedlings from cutworms, which nip the stem off at the soil line. If you live where larger predators such as deer or rabbits may prey on your crops, you may need to invest in a good 6 to 8 foot fence with a wire mesh near the ground. Spraying pesticides on your garden is generally more harmful than helpful. Not only do the chemicals get into your produce, but they're likely to kill off beneficial insects that help your garden to grow better. Bees of all sorts help to pollinate your plants so they produce more. And ladybugs or praying mantis hunt and kill harmful insects for you. If you absolutely must spray, do it in the evening when beneficial insects aren't out as much, and spray only the area needed. Tip number 8. Call in reinforcements. For most vegetables, 1 inch of water per week is enough. This includes any rain you may get. Wet leaves, especially in the afternoon or evening, can help spread the growth of molds and mildews like downy or powdery mildew. Instead of spraying your plants, invest in a good water-saving soaker hose or drip line that will deliver water directly to the roots without splashing their leaves. Keep the soil moist throughout the growing season, according to the water needs of each plant. An automatic timer may be a valuable investment for your garden. Another good plan is to call in the beneficial insects like bees for pollination and ladybugs or praying mantis to kill off harmful pests. You can plant the following flowers around your garden space to attract these helpful bugs: bachelor's button, cleome, cosmos, black-eyed Susan, daisy, marigold, nasturtium, purple coneflower, salvia, sunflower, yarrow, and zinnia. Pick flowers that grow easily in your climate and growing region. Not only will your garden be more fruitful, but your family can also appreciate the colorful display. Tip number 9. Pairing and timing. Interplanting compatible crops can save space and result in a better yield. Think about the classic Native American Three Sisters combination: corn, beans, and squash. The thick corn stalks support the pole beans, while squash shades the ground below, reducing the growth of weeds. Other compatible combinations include tomato, basil, and onions, leaf lettuce and peas, or brassica, carrots, onions, and radishes, and beets and celery. Succession planting is also a valuable technique. You can grow more than one crop in the same space over a given period of time. Many gardeners get 3 or even 4 crops from one area. For example, start with early growing lettuce, then try fast maturing corn, and more greens or overwintered garlic. This will give you 3 crops over a single growing season. To get the most from this sort of technique, try using transplants instead of seeds. These are already a month or so old, so when you plant them, they mature more quickly. Also, choose fast maturing varieties of your plants. Whenever you replant, replenish your soil with 1/4 to 1/2 inch of compost, working it into the top 2 inches of soil. Tip number 10. Extend your growing season. Adding a few weeks to each end of your growing season can buy you enough time to grow yet another succession crop, like leaf lettuce, kale, or turnips, or to harvest more end-of-the-season tomatoes. To get these extra weeks, you need to keep the air around your plants warm, even if the weather is cool. This requires mulches, cloches, a bell-shaped glass cover that acts like a mini greenhouse, row covers, or cold frames. You can give heat-loving plants like melons, peppers, and eggplants an early start by warming the air and the soil. Start 6 to 8 weeks before the last frost date. Preheat your soil by covering it with infrared transmitting or IRT mulch or black plastic to absorb heat. Cover the bed with a slitted, clear plastic funnel. When the soil temperature warms to 65 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit, set out plants and cover the black plastic or mulch with straw to keep it from trapping too much heat. Remove the plastic tunnel when the air warms and all danger of frost has passed. You can install the tunnel again at the end of the season when temperatures cool. However, using straw often attracts slugs. You can prevent this by also planting alliums, which repel the animals. Or just pick them off at night using a flashlight. That's all for now. Join us in our next video of top nutrition tips for a stronger, healthier, and happier you. If you've enjoyed this video on healthy tips, hit the like button and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next video on keeping you healthy.